If I could give my 16-year-old self some advice.
If I could give my 16-year-old self some advice.
So what advice would I give my 16-year-old self?
If I could give 16-year-old me some advice.
It would be to study harder, worry less, and take a gap year before going to university.
There's only 3 things I would tell my 16-year-old self. The first one would be to network with everyone inside and outside of your grade and trying to meet as many people as you can, because you don't know where people are going to be working, where you're going to end up, and the opportunities they could provide you. Secondly, be the most enthusiastic person in the room, always. And third, get a haircut.
If I could give my 16-year-old self some advice, it would be to not worry so much about the little things, especially the things you can't control. Instead, worry about how much effort you're putting in and your attitude.
If I could give 16-year-old me some advice, the main thing I'd like to tell myself is to not limit yourself. In high school, I really enjoyed math. I liked going to class, I liked the things we learned, but I was not the top student, and I didn't feel like it was a subject area that I could study at university. So I spent the first 2 years of my degree as a business major. After a couple of years, I decided I would speak to an advisor. I was introduced to a program that combined business and math, and what I found was that I was actually doing much better in my math classes. I loved going to class, I loved the things that we learned. And in the end, I just switched straight over to a math degree, and I guess what's the most frustrating about that is that that's something that I would have liked to do straight off the bat in my first year, but because I'd limited myself and because I told myself I wouldn't succeed, I ended up delaying what could have happened a lot sooner just because I doubted my abilities. So if I could go back and tell myself what I know now, it would definitely be to just go ahead and try at least to do the things that you really want to do.
When I was 16, I was in my first year at Mulgrave, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. So instead of worrying about the future, I focused on becoming better at those things that I loved, like writing, making films, and learning more about the world beyond my doorstep. 10 years after I graduated from Mulgrave, I haven't changed that much. I still write stories, make films, and try and learn more about the world every day. The only difference is that now I get to do those things in my career as a journalist. So what advice would I give my 16-year-old self? To be honest, I haven't really changed that much since I was 16, and the greatest part of my career now is that I'm sure my 16-year-old self would completely approve. He would have wanted me to take chances, to travel the world, and to meet people and tell their stories. Listen more to your 16-year-old selves. Do what you love, become better at it, and find a way to share it with the world. All of your skills and talents are worthless unless they are used for something meaningful. So do what you love, but make sure it has meaning.